Hello, Endeavor here. Before I begin, I just wanted to say that I'm currently in the process of moving, so I'll be on a short hiatus from the internet for a few weeks as I get settled into my new location. But I already have several videos planned, so stay tuned because once I'm back I'll have a lot of content coming up. But before I go on this hiatus, I wanted to leave you with a video. There's a town in the greater city of Toronto not too far from where I lived called Scarborough. Now, this video is not going to be about immigration or demographics, since I'm sure you're fully versed on that matter by now. But to give some context, Scarborough is a common destination for newly arrived immigrants to Canada. As of 2016, Scarborough is only 26.8% white. Of that, I don't know how many are native-born Canadians or recent immigrants from Europe. But suffice to say, there aren't many native-born Canadians here left. It's also a part of the city that's been urbanized rather quickly within the last several decades, with high-rises, parkways, and big-box stores all around. Scarborough has always been a part of town that I found to be rather isolating and depressing. There really is nothing for me here. But a few weeks ago, I was driving through Scarborough and something caught my eye. It was this church. It's called Knox United Church. What caught my eye was the old Victorian-era architecture in the sea of bland modernism. It was also the sign, since 1848. So I stopped by to have a look at the church. It was originally founded as the Knox Presbyterian Church, named after the Scottish theologian John Knox, the founder of the Presbyterian faith. This land, Scarborough, was settled by British subjects back in the late 18th century. This church was originally built as the centerpiece of what would become the township of Scarborough. It was originally a wooden building built in 1848, but it was replaced by the brick church that's here today in 1872. It was a Presbyterian church because it was attended by Scottish settlers who made the journey here to Canada. The original church, in fact, predates Canada as a country. When it was built, this land was a British crown colony known as the United Province of Ontario, which of course became the Province of Ontario after Confederation in 1867. And for decades after its completion, this church would have been surrounded by farmland. This would have been where Scottish settlers, most of whom probably worked on farms, came to worship every Sunday in this vast land that they had settled. And as I walked through the graveyard, I saw names like Ramsay, Pearson, Thompson, Kennedy. Most people buried here are older than Canada itself, many of them with birthdays in the early to mid-19th century. For many Scottish settlers, this church was their final resting place. So why did this church catch my eye? I think it's because it's a testament to the resolve of those who built this country from the ground up. That they came here and settled what would have been a rough and frigid land in their time. It's also a testament to their Christian faith. That the first thing they brought with them to the New World was their religion. And this place of worship was the centerpiece of their new community. And what has become of their civilizational drive? What has become of those settlers who made the journey across the Atlantic from Scotland to Canada? The same journey that my family made almost 150 years ago. Today, the population of the Scottish diaspora in Canada is bigger than the population of Scotland itself. And I'm one of them. I am the end result of their work. And wherever I go, whatever I make of my life, those Scottish settlers will be part of that, and whatever I leave behind will be what is left of the Scottish settlers too. So I have a big responsibility to bear. Today, Scarborough is covered in fast food restaurants, immigration and refugee centers, and rainbow banners with slogans about pride and diversity on them. And I'm probably more likely to run into a crack dealer than I am to run into another Scotsman. To the thousands of people that drive past here on a daily basis, it's just another church that they probably don't attend. And the United Church of Canada is a joke, so I don't blame them. But to me, it's a reminder of the civilizational ambition that made me who I am. Though I feel like an outsider in Scarborough today, in another time I think I might have felt just at home. I want to make it clear that I don't blame immigrants, it's more the government's fault, but what I want to stress is that when you lose entire communities, that in my opinion is unjust. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel like I'd been robbed of something. Not only by the government's immigration policy, but by modernity in general. I feel as though the human spirit that once existed here has been crushed. But I think that going forward, we mustn't dwell on what's already been done. Instead of longing for a past long gone, I want to look towards the future to what we can build from there. For me, this isn't a cause to despair, but an inspiration to pursue that same greatness of those that came before me. And that requires us to adapt, just like the settlers did when they made their journey from the old world to the new. I don't intend to recreate the past. Instead, my hope is that one day we can rediscover the human spirit of those who built this incredible historical site. to take what has been left for us by our ancestors and bring that into the modern world. So here's to those Scottish settlers, without whom I would not be here today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can now do so. Links are down below. A few channel announcements. As I mentioned at the start, I'll be off the internet for a few weeks, but I want to give you an idea of what I have in store once I get back. I've been reading the works of several philosophers from the Enlightenment and some from modern times. I intend to do a series of videos critiquing various aspects of the progressive conception of society that governs modern discourse. I'll also be doing more content like this, where I focus on specific aspects of culture. I'll be making videos about reclaiming parts of our culture that have been wrongfully co-opted by progressivism. First up, we'll be reclaiming the novel Frankenstein, so stay tuned. Thank you for listening. Till next time, endeavor.